guys, think about how crazy this is. Jerry Jones has been waiting the whole century, right? It's been 23 years of losses like this. You go through the losses, right? 2006, Romo botches the field goal. 2007, you remember Romo was on the beach. The bye week before the divisional round, they became the first team that lost as the number one in the divisional round since the playoffs expanded in 1990.
Who did they lose to?
The Giants, which made it worse, who went on to win a Super Bowl. 2009, they get blown out 34-3 by the Vikings. So bad that Wade Phillips thinks they're running up the score. 2014, Dez caught it. Okay, the nightmare continues, right? Right into yesterday. But 2016, guys, when they had Dakota Prescott, young rookie quarterback out of Mississippi State, and they had Ezekiel Elliott.
Who's he?
Well, back in the day, well, he thinks it's Dax. Back in the day, he thinks it's like Dax Shepard. Dax, he puts an X on the end of Dax all the time.
Dakota's a great name.
Dakota's a great name, okay? But they thought at that point, they feel like the Texans felt like right now, without the baggage that Dallas Cowboys fans carry around, but like they were like, we have a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back. We got a great O-line. We're going to be here a while. They were playing Aaron Rodgers in 2016, and they battled back. They were down 15. They tied it twice. Rodgers broke their backs on that Jared Cook's catch on the sideline.
Yes, on the left sideline.
So they come out of the game. What do you think they said? They probably said, this is different. We got a young quarterback. He was in his first start against an MVP candidate over there in Aaron Rodgers.
They made a great play.
And they made a great play. We'll be back. Okay?
They get paid too.
And they've been back a lot, okay? Fast forward to last night. That same franchise that replaced that MVP trotted out a quarterback in his first playoff start at Jerry's World to beat your MVP candidate at one point this year in Dak. And that is insane symmetry to me. Insane symmetry. On top of the fact that the guy on the sideline in 2016 is the guy you're thinking about firing right now. So they've tried everything. The one thing that Jerry hasn't tried enough is switching quarterbacks. I know the guy just had an MVP run. You gave Romo 13 years. You've given Dak 7, 8 years. And I think Dak's a good player in a lot of teams. You know where you send Dak? Down to Miami.
Ooh. That could be fun.
Ooh. I'm just saying, man, because the same results keep happening. And I have complimented Dak. If he'd have won the MVP, if you took away the Buffalo game, which is an if game, before that game, I was on board with, yeah, give it to him. But the MVP race doesn't mean that the guy's the quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
Just being in the race doesn't mean you're the quarterback of the future, especially for a team. When you look up and they said, remember when Tony was done? It was like, oh, it's going to be better now. It's Dak. Dak's different. Tony couldn't get us over the hump. They're in the same position. I looked at their stats in the playoffs. Same quarterback rating. Last night, before yesterday, it was 2-4 and 2-4. Now it's 2-4 and 2-5. So be my guest if you want to keep spinning the wheel on this thing. Like, I think people deserve chances, and Dak's had a ton. Maybe he just needs a change of scenery.
Yeah,
you know?
Change of scenery, I think, for everybody there in Dallas. And you watch that game, and I give a lot of credit to Matt LaFleur for having conviction and having a game plan that if and when they did win the opening toss, they were going to receive the kickoff and go down and score. They did just that. But for Dallas, it was the lack of reaction to seeing what Green Bay was doing offensively. The downhill runs from Aaron Jones were awesome. They were getting bullied up front. And I think Dan Quinn could have done more schematically to be able to obviously, the pressure is getting to Jordan Love, but Jordan Love is excelling at throwing off his back foot and making you pay for it on the back end. I think you got to put more guys in coverage because when Dak's on the field, and now I'm going to talk about McCarthy, every completion, it seems like there's three guys swarming around the ball. It's the tightest window throw you've ever seen to Ferguson, and he comes down with it, and you're like, who's got it? Is it an interception? Is it a catch? Is it an incompletion? That's what the offense is, and if it's not that, it's the hitches, the 5-yard stuff. It's just not looking dynamic enough, and it shows its teeth when you play a team like Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur's offense who can score at will. And last night, you were kind of reminded of it watching Dallas or Detroit and the Rams at the beginning of that game. You're like, Detroit can score all day.
Yeah.
We can't do field goals. We can't do anything other than score.
Yeah.
And that's the position Dallas found themselves in. They didn't adjust, and it looked like the same game from the jump to the finish.
Should we break this game down now? Should we talk about Dallas and Green Bay probably first? I'm going to make an executive decision and say yes.
Go, Pat, go.
How awesome was that?
Because this is related to the Freedom Caucus. I mean, it was awesome because I mean, we're big Dontavian Wicks fans in my house, UVA guy.
Romeo Dobbs.
And Dobbs. I've been,
Oh,
bro.
You've been pounding
If
the
there's a
table.
fan club for Dobbs, bro, what did you ask me in the third quarter?
What's that?
It was me. I asked you,
You
who's
asked
their
me.
number one receiver.
You go, is there?
Yeah.
Do they have a
yeah.
number one, like a true number one in the future? I said, this guy Romeo Dobbs to me can be special. I really do believe that. I've been saying that, and like it's like clockwork. The very next second to hit another big chunk to this guy, his size, explosiveness, the fact that all these guys are growing up together. Wicks, who's been a great man beater, Reed, who's great inside, and a lot of these guys were not people you thought of. You talk about Dobbs in like the 4th round out of Nevada, like. You've got loads of talent out there, and you've got more capital to spend this into next year. Like this
I'm gonna put this out there early. Like the script writers, they're a little favorable for Green Bay. It's just like Green Bay, they had a run with Aaron Rodgers, and like they're about to start. They're about to potentially
Or are they doing
start
things-
another run.
Or are they doing
and
things
we're
right?
watching it.
Yeah.
Are they doing things right? You know, I think the script favors the teams that take their time with their quarterbacks. I mean, we were looking at that. I want to talk about it more later in the week, but like, look at a lot of the guys that really have taken off in this league. Like, they haven't gotten thrown right in the fire. And I know as a high draft pick, it's fucking hard in the beginning. The expectations are huge, and there's probably a reason you're on that team because they're bad. So, like, your chances of success early on are not high. Add to that the fact that you're the guy that touches the ball every single play. You know, like every play, you're not only worried about the footwork you have to remember doing a handoff, like, you know, the protections that you have to set, the route combinations, where's this guy going to break this off versus what coverage? Like, God, I could not imagine being 22 years old and being handed the keys to one of the most important franchises in the league, depending on who you get drafted by, the pressure of that thing, the way everybody's looking at you. And so why I'm nervous about high draft picks is it's just tough. And so when you not rest them, but you kind of like phase them in correctly, you at least have a better chance of getting it. I saw Jordan Love play against Kansas City a couple years ago. He did not look like him, right? And maybe if he'd have kept playing another 4 or 5 games in a row, people would have been like, yeah, this guy's toast.
I think it was really important. Some
I think it says
they were
something.
making on the broadcast about how that offense with Aaron Rodgers. So like Matt LaFleur, he comes with his Rolodex of plays and his knowledge of the game and offense and installation. And obviously, if you have a ball of clay, it's perfect to pair with your knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, he gets there and it's Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron's like, this is the way I like to do things. You know what I'm saying? So you have to tailor everything you do. So Jordan Love was getting a bite off of a cheeseburger that was cooked for Aaron Rodgers, and now he's cooking with his own brew. Matt LaFleur is able to work that ball of clay, and it seems like they've hit everything the right way with Jordan Love. I mean, people are naked, booty naked, open in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
But there's
Jordan Love's getting rid of that football in time, and when he's not, when he's on his third read,
that's what's important.
and there's guys in his lap, he can make the throw.
That's what separates him to me. Okay, like, you know, you look at like West Coast offenses. If you got a good coach, there's going to be a place to go with the ball. There's going to be an easy answer. But the guys that can extend plays, watch his drop targets. And he's not a bailer. He's not doing things like unsoundly. He just has a really good feel for the pocket. He can make himself a new pocket. He can drift. His eyes are always downfield. And his feet are moving. You know, like he's never just standing in quicksand. I mean, he really does on some of the arm angle stuff remind you of Rodgers. I get that. That's a little bit tired at this point. But I think this guy, when he can – with the way they have guys outside that can, after 3 seconds, are going to be open. Like, this offense can get guys open if the down goes 2.5, 3 seconds, and they're all young and they're all growing up together. He's the guy that can get you to that 3-second mark. You know, there's a lot of other quarterbacks that have to do things with timing. He can do things with timing and outside of timing. Like, a perfect example for me, and this is what's so impressive about Green Bay to me, Kyle, is on a couple occasions late in the season, they didn't just beat winning teams on the road. They fucking kicked their asses. They kicked Detroit's ass on Thanksgiving in a big spot, right? And what did they do in that game? They dictated the tempo of that game. They were the front runners in the game. They made it a point to take a shot right off the bat.
That's their MO right
They
now.
made it a point to we're going to play from ahead because we can run the ball. We have Aaron Jones. He looks good, the whole thing. They're kicking guys' asses front side, the 3 techniques. We knew that there was a way for them to run the football, but they did. But they came out and jumped these guys. And what they're doing is they're defining that moment of truth for teams early. And what happens when that happens is teams get tight. Quarterbacks get tight. Decision makers get tight. Dan got tight in that Detroit game. Jared got tight in that Detroit game. They did things that were uncharacteristic. And whether you think this is who Dak is or he isn't, those picks are not what he was all season long. And I thought they did a great job of defining that moment of truth. Okay, for the Cowboys, it was being down 14 at the beginning of the second quarter. And you don't know when it's coming, but this is your last shot. Okay, they go 9 plays, 39 yards, get sacked. And then this was the drive of the game for me. You can put these guys away. They back you up. 10 plays, 93 yards. Kyle, the first third down was a 3rd and 2. I think they have Wicks coming across the formation shallow. He trips. I think he's the primary. And Jordan Love, a lot of quarterbacks are like, fuck, what do? I burn it. These backers are really fast. Oh, shit, I'm running out of room. He just buys an extra 3 seconds, hits a tight end, first down. He hit 3 third downs on that drive, and they were all different and spectacular. There was one that was spectacularly bad because Dallas has got their best corner on a tight end outside on a 3rd and 4. He's given him 8 yards cushion, so a little bit of his Dan Quinn in this defense. But the 3rd and 7 to Wicks, man coverage, blitz, clockwork, bro. And you talk about Dobbs. Kyle, you talk about Love, you talk about the receivers. He can't do this without Aaron Jones, not just on the ground, but blitz pickup and cleaning people
I've been
up.
waiting to say this
Kyle,
for like 10
this
minutes.
is sick. This is sick.
There was I give so much credit to Aaron Jones for setting the tempo because you can account for their DBs, their rush with scheme. You can account for how we're going to establish our identity with the run game. But one thing that's up in the air until it happens is what happens when number 11's got a head of steam and nobody's blocking him and Aaron Jones is assigned to him. Well, Aaron Jones went.
He stood up.
And he hit him in the ribs so hard. And you saw Micah go down. And it was like, if it bleeds, we can kill it. I mean, Aaron Jones, not only on the ground with the football in his hand, but without the football and allowing his quarterback to throw it. That was
a huge deal. You thought like that on that drive, they don't hit the chunk to
You saw it.
I love it.
they don't hit the chunk to Dobbs.
Fucked him up.
They don't hit that chunk to Dobbs on that very drive, which was a huge drive, without him cleaning up for Zach Tom. That's the guy's name, Zach Tom.
Zach Tom. It
Zach
seems
Tom
like a
with number
user-generated
50.
name.
They just Madden creative player. You want any swag? Nah.
Zach
number
Tom,
50.
50.
He's got 2 first names. Micah beat him, and people make a big deal about the Micah. Skip Bayless, who is a fucking clown. Okay, if you want me to be serious. Okay. He's a fucking clown. And after the game,
Low life.
he's talking about he's after the game. We need Shane Gillis in here. Loser. After the game, he's going at Micah. He's saying he should get on his podcast. Do you know maybe the best thing about that defense is Micah Parsons and Tank Lawrence?
Yeah.
Okay? Like, the thing holding them together for the most part. And if you're in the chat and you don't like Micah, that's fine. I'm an Eagles fan. I happen to like Micah. I happen to like Tank Lawrence.
We
You
just
cannot,
don't like outspoken players.
You
right?
cannot.
That's kind
No,
of,
I don't. No, I don't
No,
care.
I'm projecting. I'm saying we. Like, I tend to not like outspoken players.
But Micah doesn't-
I understand why people would be rubbed the wrong way by a player with a podcast.
But that's not
ironically
what. But
enough.
that's not even where I'm going.
But he's the best player.
What
He
I'm
played
saying,
well.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, well, no, Skip's mad at him because 19 pass rushes, he doesn't get home. Okay? But that's just numbers. Look at the fucking tape.
Yes.
Look at the play action. Look at the run game. And look at the fact that you barely got any. And this is the thing. When you're down in a game, people don't understand this. That's why it's hard to get sacks on a team that's getting their ass kicked in the run game and is down for most of the game. I know how that is. 8 years of my career was that. Okay? So you want to know why I have a chip on my shoulder? It's because of shit like that. Okay? Games like that, and I was never Micah, but when they decide to take somebody away in a situation like that, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get a lot of clean one-on-ones.
Not
And
much
when you
can
do
watch
and you
Tyreek
win,
against City.
he could have fucking earholed Jordan Love, but Aaron Jones cleaned up for Zach Tom.
Yes.
So, like, when you look at something and Skip Bayless is like, hey, you didn't do anything in the pass rush, look at the tape. They did a good job of keeping those rushes off Jordan Love, and so Micah Parsons happened to be the guy that looks like he didn't do anything, but a lot of the game plan, I guarantee you, is predicated on taking him away.
I'm going to make a callback to a really good Packers pass protector,
Yeah.
John Kuhn. Remember him, Chris? The fullback?
Yeah.
He would fucking clean up those.
He was a beast.
Like
He was
he'd
a
come
beast.
across that formation. I think it must be a Packers thing, just having good pass protection from backs.
It's so funny. People are just talking shit to
and
each
Hall of Fame
other.
quarterbacks.
Eddie Lacy crushed me.
I love Eddie
Just
Lacy.
destroyed
What
me in
happened?
preseason.
He hit you. Okay.
He chipped the fuck out of me.
block.
But people in the chat are just arguing with each other. This is the one bad thing about having like Niners and Packers in there is like people in the chat just arguing with each other about their franchises, like eternally. They're like Highlander beefs. You guys have never won an argument with each other. Why are you even doing it? Just enjoy the show. Like I love you all, man.
Hang out, have a
love you all.
latte, chill the fuck out.
I love you all, guys.
On.
I love you all.
Miller
But here's
Lite.
the deal. Here's the deal. Jordan loves the truth. Aaron Jones was huge for them, and Dallas has a problem in the middle. We knew that the run game would get to him, and Dak cannot handle zone the same way that the split safety look that went to like cover one with a robber on that pick six, which is basically like that guy
what they call
rotates
him,
down late and just he poaches something.
Old player.
He poaches something in that area of the field. That dude picked him. I don't think Dak even checked. And, like it seemed nitpicky to me. Some people thought it was nitpicky when they played the Giants this year and he threw a bad pick and they're blowing him out. And we said, those are the plays you gotta just eliminate. And people are like, they won the game by 40, but a play like that can kill you in the playoffs. And that's what happened right after they went down 21-0. It just puts the game on ice.
He looked off before the game and the live stream started. Like I made a joke when they showed Dak on the bench, and I was like, "Look at Dax. He looks like a person that's about to get ready to throw a pick. that's about to get ready to throw a pick. And what does he do? First drive, he threw a pick. They just looked. They looked
out
weird.
of sorts.
They look weird. And then
I think
what I was saying
with the kickoff
Did you
return?
But Kyle, like for you as an offensive lineman, if you see your star receiver drop one pass and it immediately go to the bench and is hanging his head, is that not dejecting to see as a
That's not
teammate?
the body language you want to see early. And
No,
you know what?
that's not the body language you want to see in the playoffs at all.
You know what it says? And on the other side of things, Micah's like, why do we get all this hate? And the unfortunate thing is, Micah, you're not like the Dallas Cowboys. Come on over to the good side. The Eagles could use
I know.
rusher.
I think
you're from PA.
I think that's the issue. It's just like why does Micah have to be on that
Quinn?
team?
You'd say you'd go with Dan Quinn? All right, bring Dan Quinn up to Philly. Okay? Now, here's the deal, dude. Here's the deal. After a while, it becomes who you are. And I'm not talking about you, Micah. I'm talking about the team. And so it's valiant for you to stick up for the team when people are piling on the team or the quarterback. But there's a long history here. And I think those players, although they haven't been in every one of those games, they feel that, like when you're on a team and things always go wrong and one little thing goes wrong.
And you're like, here we go.
And again, it's like a mind fuck.
So you think they really some of those guys are buying into the Cowboys curse? Like you think guys really
whether they say it outwardly or not.
I asked Melanie Collins yesterday on our show.
Yeah.
I said, they were like, ask a football question. And I was like, no, I want to ask the question I'm going to ask. And I was like, Melanie, I know that football history-rich teams struggle to match those expectations. I dealt with it in Chicago all the time. We always heard about the 85.
Like charter franchises and franchises that have a long run
I was
success.
like, is this the team that's going to buck that trend? Because I'm just not convinced yet to the points that we've talked about surrounding Dak, and then obviously the injuries and just not being able to adjust. Matt LaFleur figured it out. He was like, we're going to get the ball first and we're going to score. And that'll fucking
which says everything.
Poke a hole in their paper airplane.
Which says everything. And that's how and Kyle, it's a great point because that's exactly what I was saying. They want to play from ahead. And it'll be interesting to see to me how aggressive they are up in San Francisco. Don't change anything.
Like they didn't account for that.
Don't change anything. Okay?
They were like, there's no way they're going to.
And I think San Francisco is a fine football team. I think they're a really good football team. I think they could win it all. But I also think they're a team that Green Bay can play with.
Yep.
Woo! I do.
Yeah,
I do. Hey, I might be wrong about this, but we put a social out this morning, by the way.
No,
I think I went 6 for 6 this weekend to this point.
Yo, you're saying it right. Like if they go in there with the mentality, hey, like we know you guys are going to try to come punch us in the mouth. We're actually going to try to throw a punch.
I said play
and
with.
punch you in the mouth first.
I'm not picking Green Bay to win the game.
They're gonna be like
I'll
this.
tell you my pick later in the week.
Exactly.
I got to look at more tape. That's the thing about like picking something on a Monday. But when I tell you last night, I looked at the line at 10 points and I was like, it took everything in my power not to hammer that at 1 a.m. I'm just going to take a deep breath. And if you bet a dog, you want to bet the dog later in the week. If you want a favorite, get on it
When's
right
Chardonnay
now.
back?
Okay.
Chardonnay. How do you say his name?
What'd you say?
What kind of dog?
An underdog.
How do you say his name for real?
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet. When's he back?
Zach
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, the running back for the
He's
Seahawks?
back next year.
No, Who
are you thinking
Green
about?
Bay.
Oh, you're thinking about
A.J. Dillon?
A.J. Dillon. It's okay.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Zach,
It's okay. That's a beautiful thing.
Zach Charbonnet's on
That's a
vacation.
beautiful thing to hear somebody say, "Okay, I'm wrong." I don't
That
get
was
that a lot at
cool.
home.
It was cathartic.
I don't get that a lot at home. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Dylan.
you know, neither do
Yeah.
you. No, none of us do.
What's going on?
So, but yeah, no. What AJ Dillon would be a big lift. I don't know when he's coming back. I think Aaron Jones is enough, right? But to me,
But Aaron Jones,
You also
we've
know-
seen him go in and out of that lineup. We saw what happened week 1.
LaFleur
Now
is
he's got 4 games in a row of over 130.
Because that's the only thing
That's a lot of load for Aaron
LaFleur's a
Jones.
good coach, man. The biggest question to me yesterday was when you asked me at 14-0 and I was checking off Green Bay on my little bet sheet and you were like, don't do it. And you were like, what do you think about this game? And I said, it's over. And we're on a live stream. And I'm like, fuck, am I going to get? But no, because you come out and you see that the defense wasn't going to be a huge problem.
Yeah.
That to me was everything. If the game plan that you're running matches up well, and if the guys show up and play like Jair Alexander showed up and played, the captain made a big play.
Yeah, he did.
I
I think they should make.
14-0
I think they
set up.
Then he had a
should
soccer
throw him
injury.
a bone and make him a captain. Do you
They
think
should make him a
they
captain.
definitely should.
He's got family in the Bay. He didn't know that.
Yeah.